Hello, everyone. It's a real pleasure to be with all you today. I'm Fabricio Ferrara, International Business Director at Prensario International, and I will be moderating a session which is called Focus on Format. Thank you so much, Dubai International Content Market, to invite me and my company, Prensario International. I am very pleased to be here, and I will be discussing a bit more about the trends and what's going on from international format providers and the objectives towards the MENA region. It's a very exciting time for format development and format production. So we are going to discuss first with this executive you are seeing on screen, and then we will be open for questions. So please send your questions so we can make them to the executives. I will start first introducing Jin Wo. Jin Wo is the executive producer and president of Something Special. It's Korea's first ever independent format agency. He's a global expert, producing more than 40 primetime television shows and developing over 100 original formats. He's also a production consultant in 22 territories, and he was the general manager and head of formats and content development on CJ&M from Korea. Jin Wo, welcome on board, and thank you so much for being with us. I will be asking some questions after your presentation, so you can start whenever you want.
Hey, thank you. So, hello everyone. My name is Jin Wang. This is a really pleasure and honor to be here. Today I'm going to share some of ideas on what's going around in the format industry. So to begin, I would like to introduce my company, Something Special. Something Special is Korea's first ever TV format specialized creative-led global content development, production and distribution company. So Something Special is actually a new startup company which just started from 2020. So the company has a mission of what we call We Connect and Create. So what we do is we connect the Korean creativity to international players and creating the next premium content. So with proven track records of what we have done in the past, the numbers of our past experiences will show you that we are ready for our mission. And including myself and partner In-Sun Kim, we are trying our best to bring the freshest ideas to the international industry. Our key strengths actually comes within our partnership. Something Special represents Korea's top-tier independent companies and creative talents. Partners include like Won-Woo Park, the original creator of The Masked Singer, and Jae-Bum Park, the original creator of the hit series Good Doctor. So if anyone's interested to find who's the creator or the production company behind the biggest Korean hits, you do not have to look somewhere else. As a result, we were able to execute many format deals with international partners with major studios, which is the very first time as an independent company. So now moving on to focus on formats, I would like to start by sharing a case of Korean market, which can be also aligned with other territories. So there are two big changes in the local industry at the moment. One is that the content are now being controlled by studios and creative talents rather than traditional broadcasters, which leads a big shift in key players and IP holders. Second is that the contents are no longer being consumed only by domestic viewers, which means the content itself is becoming more of a globalization process. And these kind of industry change has actually led to a new era, as experts call as the K-content renaissance. As well already well known for the K-pop, now it has been expanding to storytelling, formats, and even local productions, as you might already seen through Squid Game. And Korea has become one of the top-selling territory in the format exports. The success has been led by the nation's creative strengths originated from the extremely competitive scene, with creating more fresh concepts and also tech-savvy environment that drives heavy content consumption. And of course, with the arrival of international streaming platforms into the local industry, there are more increased needs for securing Korean content. So then, what are the next big format hits? Here are 5 format trends that we would like to share. So first is actually the celebrity-driven formats. During the pandemic, concerts or even scripted production were actually postponed. And this actually allowed the celebrities to have more opportunity to participate in the unscripted scenes. And when there is so many platforms and networks to choose, castings become more important to catch the viewer's attention. Second is formats that can play along. So play along is actually one of the most common spoken words in the format industry at this moment. When more demands with the family viewers and more user participation are in need, the traditional genre are including much more gamified elements so that the viewers not only watch, but they are also able to play along with the show, not only with the audience in the studio, but also in their homes. And third is dating formats. Yes, the dating formats is finally and also definitely trending at the moment, especially among the millennials. The millennials tend to enjoy the guilty pleasure of emotions, witnessing if the true love could actually even exist. However, after all, the dating is actually the competition of the relationship which the millennials mostly care about. Fourth is the spiky social experiment formats. During the pandemic era, there have been so many of these feeling good shows. But as we encounter the post-pandemic era, we are slowly getting tired of those heartwarming shows. And when YouTubers are more sensitive on expanding their subscribers, these formats are becoming the key source of their appearances by providing more kind of straightforward messages. So I would like to share a sample video in this trend called Still Alive, which Something Special has created and produced last year. It's recently being optioned in 3 territories. So let's watch the trailer.
Conflicts sweeping across modern society are caused by not following the rules. In order to give warning to this, we are inviting you all to a new and simple but mysterious show. From the creators of international hit format Running Man, brings you the next mystery reality game show, Still Alive. The show is simple. All you need to do is just follow the rules. And the rule is, never do what the death rule says in each round. But no one tells you what the death rule is. However, if you violate the death rule, you will be out of the game immediately. And if you survive until the end, you will win a huge prize. In this show, 10 people from various backgrounds are invited to the death house. They will be spending a day within 5 rounds. Participants will be subject to the death rule as they enter the death house. Participants will be searching for clues about the death rule. They can collect clues by the ones who are eliminated, leaving the dying message. Dying message contains the crucial hint of current round's death rule. So, collecting the messages will enable the participant to figure out the death rule in each round.
저거다. 얘가 먹는 거 좋아하잖아.
손으로 드셨어요? 찍어 먹었어요?
Also, there are hint challenges given which provide more clues of the death rule.
이것도 손으로 먹으면 안 돼.
However, the most important thing for the participants is how they would take advantage of the clues. Will you ally or betray others? As the rounds flow, more participants will be eliminated, and the last remain will have to use all of their wits to figure out the final death rule. Who will last till the end to be still alive?
Oh, by the way, no one actually died in the show. That was just a concept of eviction. Fifth trend is the evolving formats. In order to be recommissioned, even the best well-selling formats must be better than ever before. So now, whether it's connected with celebrities or even adding new concepts, the popular formats are returning, being a little bit different than before. So as you can see, it does not mean that each trend has to be self-contained, but sometimes the format development comes with all these trends becoming mixed and combined together. So the next format trend that I would like to discuss is international co-development and co-production. As I mentioned earlier, the content globalization is becoming inevitable. And this agenda leads to the next 5 opinions that I would like to share. First is even local content is no longer only consumed by domestic viewers. And second is international cooperation is the quickest way for a global project. And third, a collective creation has always been key to the development. There can be completely differentiated concepts when different perspectives are combined, and international co-development or co-production actually works much better than a local production company or local independent producer just create a format by their own. And fourth is mutual respect is a must. This is actually the most difficult part. If the work is executed by one side only, which means that one side develops everything and one side just has to evaluate or confirms, that kind of international cooperation can be a waste of time. So in this international cooperation, there is no such thing as a superiority. So everything has to be equally shared and every concept has to be equally managed. And of course, how can we secure originality, which is the most important part in the format industry? It's always challenging. That is why international co-development and co-production actually works better at this moment. So that was 5 opinions on international cooperation. And I would like to share another sample of a new format called Smashed Hits, of which Something Special has co-working with an international partner. So this format is a music entertainment game show where the contestant has to play in the game of naming the hit songs correctly against series of musical twists. Let's watch the sizzle.
Today, all around the world, music fans are mashing up their favorite songs together to create viral hits that break the internet. Now, it's time to spin this phenomenon into the hottest music competition yet.
They take 2 things from just totally different worlds and collide them, and now they're together. That's unbelievable.
Put your hands together for Smashed Hits. From American Idol producer Simon Lithgow's Legacy Productions, Korea's Something Special, and America's My Entertainment comes the competition show that mashes up popular songs in wildly innovative ways and challenges contestants and viewers at home to figure out what in the world they're listening to. With the celebrity host as MC, and an iconic DJ creating unexpected mixes? Each episode features 2 teams of 2 contestants squaring off in a series of head-to-head challenges designed to fool the ear and bend the mind. Familiar songs become unrecognizable when they're mashed together and smashed apart. Teams compete in 5 rounds of increasingly difficult challenges, like Title That Track, Reverse That Record, and Mashed Up Madness. And if contestants struggle, they can FaceTime some of the biggest names in music to help them find the right answer. Each time contestants successfully identify the songs and artists, they win cash. The team that's earned the most money makes it into the final high-stakes speed round, where the live hit band performs a mega medley of smashed up music in studio. If they can ID them all within 30 seconds, they walk away with the exclusive, one-of-a-kind grand prize experience. This is Smashed Hits.
So as you can see, international collaboration allows more differentiated concept by combining different perspectives. The format is now actually being co-produced for US and UK show. So please look forward to it. So this is end of my presentation. I hope everyone have enjoyed it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jinwoo. It's amazing to see how much Korean content has evolved, not only for the Korean market but also for the international. So we will discuss a little more on the trends you have just mentioned. Of course, the new developments you are promoting for the international market. Now we are going from Korea to Turkey. Another interesting market on the format development, and we will discuss with Miroslav Radojevic. He is the sales director for MENA at Global Agency. Miroslav is an experienced sales director with a demonstrated story of working in the entertainment industry over the last 20 years in Europe, Middle East, and Africa. He is graduated from law faculty, defend master thesis in business, and he completed specialization on HBS on entrepreneurship and emerging economies. Miroslav, we will be more than pleased to hear your presentation. Thank you for being with us.
Hello, everyone. Fabrizio, thank you so much for the introduction. And thank you, DICM, for inviting me to be a speaker here today. Greetings actually from Montenegro, not from Istanbul today, because it's summer vacation and I'm in Montenegro right now, and very hot here in Montenegro, like in Dubai, I guess. So let's go to my presentation, and let's move to the other slide. I will tell you, for those of you who are not familiar with Global Agency, a little bit more about Global Agency and what we are doing. So I will share my screen right now and start from the beginning. So Global Agency is one of the leaders in distribution industry, independent leaders. So Global Agency has been established in 2006, and in our portfolio we have formats, and also we have Turkish series. On the series side, when we talk about series, the most incomes, the most revenues come from the series side. It's like 60-65%, and 35-40% comes from the format side. So Global Agency have a pretty thick catalog, over 150 projects. we are very, very selective, and we don't take everything in our catalog, and focusing mainly on entertainment. Global Agency in the Middle East is well known as a distributor who brought Magnificent Century. I'm pretty sure that everyone of the audience is familiar with this great drama, historical drama, which opened the gate for many others. Turkish series and Turkish content right now is one of dominating in the Middle East. Besides very famous Turkish dramas like Magnificent Century, Kosem, Broken Pieces, Mother, Global Agency developed some formats as well, and we produced with our partners shows like very famous shows like Shopping Queens, then the remix, Keep Your Eye Shining, etc. So when we come to the point and in the Middle East, I forgot to mention that our major partners are NBC, OSN, Dubai TV, SBC, and now digital, the most important players in digital sphere, like Disney, like Stars Play, etc. So when we come to the points about the trends in 2022, this year, I would like to highlight that in the Middle East, from our perspective, what we receive from the clients, from the producers and the channels, music singing talent formats are always dominating. Also, cooking formats are very popular, and especially during the Ramadan, which is very important period in the Middle East. Half of the advertisement come to the Ramadan period. And this year we have something special. It's World Cup in Qatar, big event in the Middle East. And so many channels and producers are searching for sports shows. Unfortunately, Global Agency doesn't have and doesn't represent sports shows, but it's one of the trends. In 2021, we, in collaboration with local production company and SBC, we produced one paper format, Beat Me If You Can. So it's originally Global Agency format created by our creative department within Global Agency, and it's a singing game show. We have 10 contestants within 10 cabinets in different colors, and we have 2 celebrity juries. So regarding this show, it's very important that it's not only a singing show, it's like a memory. I guess everyone was playing in a childhood memory card game. So this is, there are some elements which might remind you on this game, because the celebrities, 2 celebrities, they have also to memorize the cabinets and good voices into the cabinets. Before the show in the studio, we had a audition phase, and we picked the best of the best singers within Saudi Arabia. So the first season was only Saudian, let's say, singers, but the second season, the plan is to go with Pan-Arabic, so we're going to have more good quality singers, and also the audience would be bigger for sure. So in these 10 cabinets, 10 singers are waiting for their time, and we see with hidden cameras in cabinets, we see they are a little bit nervous. They are waiting to step out and to start singing and show to the audience their talent. And in the end, so one part of the song singing by one singer chosen by one jury member, and the other one is chosen by the other jury member. So one part of the song, each of the singers will sing individually, and the last part of the song they will sing together. When the performance is finished, then the audience in studio will decide who will continue and who will leave the show. So the cabinet of the singer who finished the performance and who was not chosen by audience to continue, he will leave the show forever, and the other one will continue competing. So this is the trailer. I hope it will work.
All 10 have learned the playlist songs. They are hidden in cabinets, but have no idea when they'll be on stage, with whom they will duet, and which song they will sing. The jurors don't know who is in which cabinet and will root for their contestant to win, because when their selection wins, they get points. When the music starts, the first jury member selects a cabinet. The singer comes out and begins to sing.
I can't see myself, I don't want nobody else to ever love me.
The remaining 9 singers wait anxiously because juror number 2 chooses one of them to continue the song.
I'm thinking of you, baby. I still remember in the days when I was scared to touch you. Oh my Lord.
Audience votes for the winner of the round, who will keep playing while the loser's cabinet darkens forever.
So the best one continues directly to the grand finale, and the second and the third one qualified for the next episode. So each episode, actually, we're gonna see 8 new contestants until to the final one. So as I said, SBC has been produced season 1, and we are getting ready for the season 2. And as I said, season 2, the plan is to be pan-Arabic, so we are expecting better competition among the singers and also bigger audience. When we come to the third point regarding co-development and co-production, I think and position of the Turkey regarding this subject, then we should look at 2 ways. One is scripted formats, and the other one is non-scripted. So regarding scripted formats, I think Turkey already started collaboration with Middle East, and there are some Turkish producers already doing business with some biggest channels in the Middle East and shooting in accordance with Turkish scripts, but developed and adapted to Arabic market. But also there is a trend right now that so many companies from the Middle East establishing their entities in Turkey and trying to use Turkish know-how and go into production business regarding series. On non-scripted, it's a trend right now that Turkish creators and producers using economy weaknesses in Turkey and establishing regional hubs, inviting clients regionally to come to Turkey and use cheap facilities, cheap hotels, accommodation, transportation. So basically, when we compare with some regarding some shows produced in the Middle East, it comes that Turkey is cheaper with all costs, 15 or 20% than Middle East. So I think it's really good business opportunity, and I'm expecting more and more shows to be produced in this way. So this was my presentation. So I guess you're gonna have some questions, and I'm ready for your questions to shoot.
Thank you so much, Miroslav. Amazing presentation, both of you. And thanks for showing that Turkey is not only drama series, but also a full industry developing amazing format concepts. So we have seen in the last half an hour these two presentations from Jinwoo and Miroslav, mainly focusing on good value development formats and of course good idea for international co-production and co-developments. So we will start with some questions now. You are free to keep sending your questions through the chat, so we'll be able to answer them following that. Jinwoo, I would like to ask you, you mentioned that the international cooperation is one of your main concept, or one of the main aspects of something special. Can you tell us more successful and key developments you have done globally recently?
There were so in the past 2 years, when I first started my company on February 2020, and that everyone's pretty much excited with the success of the Korean formats for the last 2 years. And then nobody was expecting a pandemic crisis. So there was no market, and there was hardly even any kind of a new productions being going on, and especially a new player like Something Special had much more hard time to selling a new format. So what we started to focus more is to creating and developing, going through a co-development and co-productions. So we start by working with the close partners like ITV Studios or Amosa Formats or Banijay or Fremantle. And then we actually moved to kind of independent production companies in US, or even top-notch American showrunner like Phil Goren. So as a result, we were able to get some great results with these international co-development and co-productions, and hopefully we will have some shows be on air in next year. So.
That's great. And are you focusing in specific territories? Of course, you mentioned the UK and the US, but outside them, are you also focusing on European or Asian or Latin America or whatever?
Asia was always our key market because we are Asian players, and Korean formats had a great kind of approach to the Asian market, for example, like Southeast Asian market so far. Middle East is becoming much more important, and however, the Korean formats not been shown to Middle East so yet. And I think the case of Masked Singer was actually one of the very first cases that actually reached to the Middle East. On the one side, Turkey was always one of the most important market for Korea, because the nation, that Turkey was actually the very first country to actually import Korean formats 16 years ago. Now, when we are trying to expand more of Korean creativity to newer markets like Middle East and Africa, so one of the key idea is, again, working as a kind of a cooperation. So possibly next year we will have a wonderful partner in Turkey to work with us to have more of our ideas to be shown in the Middle East and African territories.
It's global agency, or we have something to announce this time?
Unfortunately, it's not global agency.
Okay, thank you, Jimbo. And Miroslav, as I said at the beginning, it's interesting to see how Turkey has become a truly active player in the format development. Global Agency is not only a distributor or a seller. You have shown us that you are investing and developing good concept. How is that play? I mean, how do you balance this role of producing, developing, also being a partner for the Turkey market, and also a key player in the international market?
Yeah, you are totally right. I mean, this is maybe a good time to mention that, I mean, Mr. Jin says that Korea is, for Korea, Turkey is very important market, and it is really, especially when we talk about series. There are so many scripts adapted in Turkey, Korean scripts adapted in Turkey, very successful series adapted in Turkey. So Global Agency is always open to establish new collaborations. So Mr. Jin, feel free to contact us if you have some good ideas. And also Fabricio, in Turkey 10 years ago, for example, Turkey was the export was only $10 million when we talk about entertainment industry. Now it's $600 million, close to $600 million. So it's a huge development, and I think the Turkey is just behind the Hollywood if we look at the big picture. So Global Agency, as I said, in our business portfolio, we have when we look at our revenues, it comes 60-65% from distributing series, collaborating mainly with Turkish producers, and the remaining 35-40% comes from the format side. Here we have internally within Global Agency created department, and some of the shows like which I mentioned in my presentation, Keep Your Light Shining, is actually the show originally developed from the Global Agency. So I mean, we always care to have a balance here when we represent our clients, because it's very important that clients are feeling satisfied doing business with Global Agency. So we are good listeners. So when we have the channel or producer from Middle East or Africa, I mean, when I say Middle East or Africa, is the same in Global Agency when we look at Latin America or Asia or Europe, because Global Agency is covering the entire world with different sales directors. So we have the same approach, and we are very careful listeners. And when the clients, channels come or producers come with some requests, then we pitch what we think it's the best for the channels, taking into consideration all the important information related to the local market. So Global Agency doesn't have a problem with, you know, if we have like our shows and to force our shows against the other. The good example is Shopping Queens, one of the most successful formats in our catalog, already sold in more than 20 countries, everywhere, fantastic ratings. It's not originally Global Agency format, and it's very successful. And in the Middle East, maybe it's a nice time to mention that Middle East, we always look at as a one territory, but actually it's very different. You know, if you look at the north of Africa, is very different than GCC. And for north of Africa, since most of the countries used to be French colonies, France is very important reference point. And some shows which we produce in France, we have requests from north of Africa, Algeria, Tunisia, or Morocco to be produced in north of Africa. So, you know, depends on the case and depends on the formats, depends on the channels needs, producers needs, depends, but so far so good global agency in the Middle East.
Very interesting also to have both of you, because as you say, there has been a lot of collaboration between Korea and Turkey, and one of the key roles of Turkey has been also to be the gateway to the Western territories. You have adapted not only Korean, also Japanese formats, and you have been selling them all across the Western territories. So the successful examples are a lot. We are not going to mention, but I will follow with the next question. I'm talking about disrupted formats. My question, actually it's not mine, from people that is watching, is for Jinwo, if you see a bigger future on the interactive formats where the audience can change the outcome of a session of an episode. For example, Black Mirror. What's your perspective on that?
It's a very good question. Actually, there's one, because Something Special represents a lot of independent production companies in Korea. One of the production company, they are completely focused on creating interactive shows or even VR or extended reality content. And I actually tried to sell some of the formats they created. But what we have to consider on interactive shows is that the territory that who's interested in those format has that capability or even capacity of what I mean is the environment, the digital environment is ready. Basically, like in order to consume the best quality interactive show, you got to have a very hyper-speed internet connection, and if that territory does not have a lot of hyper-speed internet connection, it is really difficult to perform such content. So I think the challenge here is actually there will be a lot of shows. And now even the format industry is also connecting with the metaverse, metaverse platforms. There will be even more formats that would actually go into metaverse. But at the same time, we will always have to consider that if we are ready, as not just only as the creativity, but also are we ready to take those kind of new technologies into creating ideas.
Good, very interesting answer. And regarding the music show, Miroslav, the question for you is if music shows like The Voice or the one you have just described will still be in the top for the future, or you think there will be other type of formats that will take over this format? I mean, what you have just shown is a very interesting twist on the music show. So what's your perspective on this?
Yeah. Thank you, Fabricio. This is a good question. Actually, why we developed these singing shows like Beat Me If You Can or Good Singers, which has been produced in France, or Keep Your Light Shining, because the clients come to us and asking, do you have something different? What is already dominating for 5 or 10 years in the market, and you know, the audience is a little bit, let's say, maybe it's a hard word to say, but fed up with these kind of shows, and the audience is hungry for something new. So this was the reason why we came up with something like new. The goal was to combine different elements of the shows and come up with something new. And the response of audience is good. I mean, beat me if you can. The show I presented a couple minutes ago, it was paper format, and it took like 4 years working and pitching at the market in order to have this show on air in 2021. So to cut long story short, I think there is always room for new creative formats, but it doesn't mean that big hits like The Voice or Got Talent will end it up. But there is a room and there is demand from the channels and from the TV market to consume something new.
Yes, and I think you have just give us a good example that the audiovisual business is not longer linear. I mean, you mentioned 4 years of development. If we are being seen by young production companies and creatives, it's important to understand that the times are also very long.
Yeah, exactly, and
especially in format.
Yeah, true. And sometimes you have you put something on air, and then you understand actually that you are missing some elements. So and the show might be better if you add some spices. So we do that. This actually exactly happened with the show Keep Your Light Shining. Keep Your Light Shining. We started as it was written, and then over 10 years, an experience collected in Germany, Brazil, and other territories, we actually understood that there are some elements which might improve the show, and we added these elements. So besides the basic version of Keep Your Light Shining, we have now Keep Your Light Shining remastered version. The budget is more or less the same. It doesn't affect the budget at all, but it improves the quality of the show. So it's the show is live, and you have to all the time look at the audience and the response of the audience, and to adjust the show accordingly to their needs. This is our approach.
That's great. And Jinwo, another question we have for you is, with the game shows being the #1 over the last year, is there a chance for lifestyle of cooking show? You mentioned dating and you mentioned this social experiment, but they're asking specific on lifetime or cooking show. What's your perspective?
Well, honestly speaking, I think the cooking shows are decreasing nowadays because we have seen a lot of cooking shows in the past, and we still have great culinary competition shows like MasterChef or even streaming platforms. They tend to air. They took over the popular Japanese cooking show like Iron Chef. However, because if you see the YouTube or if you see Instagram, or you see so many shows that contain recipes, and you see so many young chefs. They also pretty much provide these very tailor-made cooking shows. For example, one of the most viewed Korean cooking content is called the Meats Man. Basically, there's a young guy. He's not even a professional chef. He basically he brings over the very popular meat recipes, and he tries to redone it following the existing recipes, but he has almost more than 2 million viewers, subscribers, and every clip that he made basically hits more than like 2 or 3 million, and which he will be a kind of person that who will be a little bit difficult to appear in a live cooking shows, but he does his own content in the live streaming through YouTube. But at the same time, he also spreads his own content by sharing of how he redone existing recipes. So which means that these cooking shows are becoming much more, I would say, it's becoming much more smaller, or the cooking shows, even cooking shows will, I think a lot of cooking shows will actually move on to YouTube rather than as a big TV shows. That is my opinion.
Well, we are receiving good quantity of questions. Unfortunately, we only have 9-10 minutes to conclude this event, but I will try to choose at least one or two more. So one of the question is what Jinwo has just said regarding the platform. And the question is, it's for both. You can answer Jinwo or Miroslav. How the disruptive presence of Netflix and Amazon will impact in the format market?
So, Mr. Jinwo, go ahead.
Thank you. That is actually one of the most important questions for everyone. So would the format work in the streaming platform? Yes, we've seen the cases, but does the streaming platform provides opportunities to producers or companies in formats? Maybe or maybe not, because there are some shows that that you have a very big interest, but then if the streaming platform, because most of the streaming platform they completely owns the IP from a producer, including the format rights. And if that streaming platform does not commit, does not allow the commissioning in other territories, basically you cannot buy anymore. For example, there was one French show that I fell in love with, and there was one of my Korean physical production company partner completely fell in love with the format. So we approached the production company, and then the company said, "Oh, it's owned by it's now completely owned by a streaming platform." So again, then with my production company partner, we approached to the streaming platform, and basically they said, "No, we don't want to be remade in Korea." So we had no choice but to postpone our idea or even the local adaptation concept. So I think that is a kind of a case that that we also feel. But at the same time, what I also see, because I really wanted to see this, one of the best cases of streaming platforms on formats is actually Amazon from, for example, Last One Laughing. So Last One Laughing was a format that was originally created and produced in Japan, but then the Spanish version was they remade it through as an Amazon original in Amazon Prime Spain, and now it's been optioned. It's been now produced or even developed more than almost 20 different territories, and basically you're going to see 20 different versions of Last One Laughing, and I think that is kind of a great case of how a format can also travel with the streaming platform.
Thank you, Miroslav.
I think, this is actually the right question for the streamers and their acquisition, their partners, because they are listening, their subscribers, and if there is a need, of course, we will see more and more formats on the streaming platforms. And I think also depends on from the perspective of distributor, I think the format's position on the streaming platform depends actually on genre. If you have something new, if you have something really good, which might create buzz, I think the big streaming platforms will find a way to produce and to offer to their subscribers. I remember Global Agency has in our portfolio of the formats format the Remix. It's the name of the format, and it was a big hit in Asia, China, Vietnam, I think also Korea, Thailand, Taiwan also. So many territories, more than 10 territories, and India as well. And then Amazon came and asked to originally from the creator to buy the show and to put IP on this show. So to sum up, I think depends on idea, depends on the needs of the subscribers, and if you have something really kick-ass, I think it would be no problem, and we're going to see more and more formats on the streaming platforms.
Well, thank you so much. We are arriving to the end of this session. Very, very interesting concept. We still have a couple of more minutes. So my last question for both, I ask you to be very, very sharp on your answer, is about the MENA opportunities. Which are your main objectives and plans for this region, this great and big region full of opportunities? Jinwo, please.
MENA is one of the key market in the world, and until this far, the Korean formats and Korean content is not being approached a lot. But I think this, because now we are all going into a globalization content. So it's always important to have your shows being ready to any territories, and I think MENA market will become another key market for the Korean formats or even Korean content, and I really do hope to have more collaborations and more works with the companies in this area.
Great. Miroslav?
Middle East is very dynamic market, and it's really amazing experience doing business with MENA clients. From my perspective, it takes sometimes really a lot of time until you start doing business, because for MENA clients it's very important trust, and it's something what you have to actually win their trust. Once you win their trust, then you know the business is going well. So the good example is, for instance, Beat Me If You Can, the show which we pitched 4 years ago and then in 2021 produced. So I think as a region, it's a big region, over 400 million people, so it's very important. Also, it's very rich region, especially nowadays, and it's picky region. So MENA doesn't take everything what you offer. They are very selective, and they are picking the best formats. If we focus now and zoom in Global Agency and Middle East, we have besides Beat Me If You Can, a few more formats. One is a cooking show, My Wife Rules, which we produced with NBC in the Middle East, one of the biggest commercial channels in the Middle East. And we have one more, Good Singers, which was again originally developed by Global Agency, already produced in France. And we are expecting the next market to be in the Middle East. There are a few channels we are talking right now, two producers we are talking right now, and we will see what's going to happen. But it's very trendy show, and I believe if we succeed to put on air, it will last more than one season.
Actually, there is a question regarding the Beat Me if you can, so maybe you can clarify this.
Sure.
They are asking me if it is going to be produced in each country, but I think you mentioned it's going to be a Pan-Arabic version,
Exactly, exactly. So let's say SBC bought the license for multiple number of seasons, and lesson learned from the season one, going as a Pan-Arabic show. It will bring more on audition phase. It will bring more quality singers. So we're gonna face and we're gonna put to compete best of the best from the entire region. And on audience side, also it's huge impact because entire Middle East having like 400 million is a huge audience comparing to Saudi. But the good move is actually that Saudi is now taking a lead in entertainment industry. The country which was very let's say traditional country with very selective content you could see. Now you see the country opening, the country is trying to show to the entire world that something is changing and becoming more modern. So television is actually the best way to show this.
That's great. Well, Jinwo, Miroslav, thank you so much. Thank you so much for the Dubai International Content Market people that make us being today with all this audience. Thank you to the ones that have sent questions and unfortunately we were not able to answer due a lack of time. And please don't miss to attend the Dubai International Content Market on November 23 to 24 this year. It's going to be great. And please also follow the next session that will be on August 17, if I am not wrong. Yes, August 17. So series, What's New? Thank you all again. Has been a pleasure. Thank you, Miroslav, and thank you, Jinwo.
Thank you, Fabrizio. Thank you, DCM,
Thank you,
for
Fabrizio.
inviting us.
Thank you, everyone. It's a great pleasure. Maslam.